ESPN is laying off some of its biggest on-air stars in hopes to save tens of millions of dollars. And this latest round of layoffs is expected to be around 20 on-air personalities. And that includes some of the top NFL, NBA, and ESPN radio talents. So while big names like Stephen A. Smith, Scott Van Pelt, and Joe Buck are not at risk, ESPN is expected to let go employees that have been on the air at the network for decades. Now, the hope is by cutting seven-figure salaries, they'll be able to save more behind-the-scenes employees. One of the biggest names to be let go is longtime NBA analyst Jeff Van Gundy. His exact salary isn't known, but he was making millions, and he's considered among the all-time greats when it comes to NBA TV game analysts. They also announced that they're going to part ways with Jalen. And last week, the New York Post reported the network was scrapping its morning radio show featuring Max Kellermen, Keyshawn Johnson, and Jay Williams. Now, despite the cost-cutting measures, the network recently inked Pat McAfee to a 5-year deal that will earn him in the neighborhood of $85 million.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politician TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on all hell breaking loose over there at ESPN as it hit the news today that they will be laying off and cutting back at least 20 well-known analysts under their umbrella. And I'm going to have links in the description from NY Post because that's why I seen everybody referencing the sources from and where they was getting their information on the conversation. And they write-up says this, and I'm going to get into another write-up after this from Deadline who put some more insight on it. But it says ESPN is laying off some of its biggest stars, including Jeff Van Gundy, Max Kellermen, Keyshawn Johnson, Susie Colbert, and Jalen Rose, and a purge that is expected to result in around 20 on-air personalities being let go Friday as the network hopes to save tens of millions of dollars, the Post has learned. ESPN informed all of its employees Friday morning of the forthcoming cuts on an internal website, according to a memo obtained by the Post. Deadline put some more insight on it, saying this: ESPN has been navigating a dramatic shift in its economic foundation due to ongoing cord cutting. After peaking at about 100 million households a decade ago, the network reported reaching 74 million homes in 2022, depriving it of significant distribution revenue. Apart from events like college football, the NFL, and the NBA, which have seen a robust ratings, linear tune-in has been declining for all traditional networks as more viewers turn to streaming. Disney has confirmed it is actively planning to offer a more complete version of ESPN as a standalone streaming option, but migrating it is a fraught process given the network's agreements with pay TV operators, leagues, and other stakeholders. ESPN Plus, which launched in 2018, reached 25 million subscribers early this year, but does not carry a full complement of news, live event programming. At the same time, it's facing distributions to its long, reliable revenue streams. ESPN is also confronting steep escalations in sports right fees. Disney has recently opted to re-up with the NFL, expand its SEC college football footprint, and reclaim the NHL. But it faces multi-billion-dollar question about whether to re-up with the NBA when the deal expires the 2024-25 season. I haven't saw the list of all 20 analysts that they decided to let go with this layoff and cutback move that they're making right here, and I'm no expert on the conversation. All I can do is spill the real about how I feel on what I'm seeing and viewing. And from what they saying, the only thing I can take from this streaming has become a major thing in the game to the point they was at 100 million people that they had locked in, dropped down to 75. And this is what happens with business. It's like Young Thug say, business is business. That's what they gonna tell you. We might like you and you might be a factor over here, but we can't afford to keep paying you because of our profit. We gonna have to cut back on how we win. So they gonna keep the main popular people and basically shorten up the staff, and we just gonna work with the people we got locked in that we see got the most viewership, the ones that are most popular, are the ones that work well with us, that we can market better. The ones that we think can continue to carry the load of all of y'all so we can keep the people behind the scenes working and things like that. Then they spoke on being guaranteed to be able to post certain games to this. Disney, these other platforms, they all monopolized at the top. So they don't want to lose money. Hey, man, over here we losing money on ESPN. We got this going on, but we want to be able to still see them big profits we were seeing in the long run. And this is a good thing to have your own platform outside of this, because people will be able to see things in real time. It's a nigga they'll follow on Instagram that'll be making posts about the game and watching, as opposed to have to be going to see a super popular analyst or wait for ESPN. They can speak on the game that night, right after it go on. They ain't got to wait for ESPN tomorrow. So it's good for you to have your own platform, whoever you working for or you in partnership with or anything like that as an analyst, have your own stuff going. And some of them do that where they work for different networks. I know like Max Kellermen, he do boxing, but Stephen A. Smith, people like that, the guy McAfee, which I ain't really just hip to him, but I know he's super popular, they gonna be secure because they bag is locked in off of their popularity already. But tell me what y'all think. This some big news for ESPN and the sports analyst world, which we've been seeing a lot of shifts in lately. And the biggest thing is streaming. They even trying to get so they can live stream, broadcast the things directly to these apps and situations like that while these games is going on in real time. But tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1000. Stay on your pivot.